everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with layout number 7 using the November Hit Kit. And I'm showing you some of the products that I pulled together. There was a sheet from Pebbles, 2 from Ellie Studio, and a vellum. And what had happened, I bought the extra pattern paper, and for some reason it was probably just a packing error, but I ended up with, I had 9 or 8 sheets, whatever it was supposed to, but I had doubles, and some of the pattern papers I didn't have, like the second sheet, but that's okay. I ended up using all of them, like that Ellie Studio diagonal stripes with the dots on the side. That's what I used as the background on the last layout. And then I flipped over, like I used the snowflake ones too on several layouts. So I ended up using all the pattern papers anyway. And I just loved all the tones and everything. So it worked out great. And the dash pattern paper is the Pebbles pattern paper. This is a picture, again, I'm really in the mood because that's basically all that we've been doing this whole week, because my husband took the week off to help me out, because these, pizza rolls and meat pies and all this stuff, it takes quite a bit of time. And he was actually going to take this week off, like the week of the 15th on. And I said, well, that's kind of late to be doing that. And because you want to have the stuff ready ahead of time so that when the crazy busy season starts, that you can be relaxing. Plus, I didn't know at the time that I was going to have my grandson, and that's just not something to have a 2-year-old in the mix of that, 9 hours of doing meat pies. So this is actually the first thing that we did. We made some shortbread cookies. They're almost all gone. I got some more butter to make more. And I mean, I'll share all the recipes of everything that I did. A lot of them, the first 2, the pizza rolls and the meat pies, is like, it's not official recipes. It's just sort of, you'll be able to tell by when I write it out, it's really just, dice this, and it's not an official recipe. It's things that we've, added over the years and we've really liked. And the meat pies, it's, a family recipe. I live in the north of the province, and that actually one of my bosses at work, he's from the north too, like he's from the same area as I am, and he came to work the other day with some of those meat pies. I'm like, hey. And anyway, up north we call them little pigs, and he called it the same thing. So obviously it's a tradition of the north, like where we're both from, and because nobody from around here had heard of them. So anyway, I'll share the recipe, but again, it's not like an official. It's just what I do. I don't even know if I do them the same way that my mom does them. It's just with playing with them, this, over the years, this is what I found that I liked. And but I will share it. And actually, I've sort of issued a new little challenge, mid-month challenge on my YouTube group. And if you don't know about it, the link is in the description. And I issue challenges. We share our layouts, and it's just a fun place. There's a ton of people that do process videos. They link up their videos on the channel, on the Facebook group, and it's just a whole bunch of fun. So the mid-month challenge, I guess, is to share some of your favorite recipe and to actually scrapbook it so that your family, it's in your scrapbooks. And what I'm going to do is in the back, or on the pizza rolls, I left a little pocket to put the recipe. I'm going to put the recipes right on the layout, either on the back or somewhere on the layout, so that when they flip through, they can go, oh yeah, I remember when Mom used to do that, and they have the recipe right there so they can try them out. Now, back to the layout quickly. I tried to put the eye ink directly on the pattern paper, and it's not as vibrant. It soaks right into the pattern paper. So I just put some gesso over top. I tried to do it the lazy way out. Didn't work. I didn't like how it just took away from the colors. So I just took my palette knife and added a really, really thin coat of gesso. So when it dries up, you can barely see the gesso. And then I'm going to add the eye ink again. And this time around, it's really, really teal. And I like that. So I'm using my Ranger heat tool and I'm going to heat it all up. And while I'm doing that, and before I get on to the next step, I'm just going to add some eye ink. So, and basically I just put it on my block, add some water, take piece of packaging and just add it to the layout. And while I'm doing that, I just want to talk about a few things. First of all, I just want to thank everyone about how supportive you guys were for that December daily. You were like my cheerleading team. You were, that was such a huge undertaking, and especially doing it project lifestyle because it was like a full 12 by 12 layout. But starting it in November, getting it done ahead of time, it really worked. Now I just got to add the photos. And while I was watching TV last night with my husband, I was playing with my pick frame app and just kind of, combining the photos because I did quite a bit of embellishing. I don't have room for big photos, and I'm okay with that because I'm doing full layouts of the other, the stuff that we did anyway. So this is more like an overview. If anything, it's got me excited to we lost power there. So that's what it was. It went totally black. And so I had to wait for the power to come back on to finish the layout. But that happened a few times this week. It was a pain. We had a major rainstorm and freezing rain. We got up the next morning and we couldn't believe that the schools were closed. Like the school was closed for 3 days because of rain. Like we've never had that. We had flooding. We had major there was 50 buses just from my son's school that couldn't even drive the kids to school because of roads being washed out and stuff. So it was really bad. So the power kept going in and out like that. So anyway, I totally forgot about that. But so my son had fun staying home, and he helped us make everything. And it then he wanted to make cookies by himself, which we kind of just helped him because he's never read recipes and stuff. But anyway, I'll do a layout on that because of course I took pictures. What I was saying, totally rabbit trail here. What I was saying was, now I forget. Getting older is not fun, okay? I had to stop the recording and really think about it. And I guess I could have rewound and listened to the recording. But anyway, what I was saying was it got me excited to do Project Life. And I was looking at my camera because by the way, I shared on my Facebook group and on my blog the recipe for the pizza rolls. I've added tons of pictures. Even, like the size of that you should be cutting the stuff. And so when I was adding the photos from my phone to the computer so that I could do that, it said import 135 pictures. And I was like, what? I took that many pictures? So I've been taking out my iPhone. Now my regular DSLR, I'm not taking it out as much. I'm using my iPhone. Now, I'm not due for an upgrade for another year, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to save up, and I'm hoping by May or June, I'll just pay the difference and get the iPhone 6, because then I'll have so much more room, or maybe even a little bit before, but so much more room, and just be able to take tons of pictures with my iPhone, because it does take a lot of nice pictures. Like those pictures, I took it with my iPhone, and I'm sure to print them big, it probably wouldn't be a nice quality, but using your Canon selfie and your pick frame, your iPhone is perfect for that. So, and I didn't forget, I am going to do that little tutorial. Sometimes I think I take on more than I can chew. Just because this week I basically spent my week in the kitchen and we got a ton of stuff done, which I'm going to share everything. I'm probably going to do a layout about everything. And tonight, I didn't have enough vacation days because it was my extra day this week, so I have to work tonight, and then I'm off again till next Monday, or next Sunday, and today's Monday. But I have to work tonight, so I'm trying to do this voiceover so that it's ready for to upload, and then I'm going to work on my December daily, adding some pictures before I go off to work, and I'll be working on, doing that video this week sometimes. I have my grandson, so the only time I'll be able to do stuff is when he's sleeping, but he's pretty good at taking a 2-hour nap, so I should be able to get some stuff done. So where I've been getting so many layouts done with this kit, and I decided to pull a lot of the this is the Maggie Holmes open book die cuts that were in last month's kit, and I decided to pull those in. And this time I've been doing, there was a lot of gold in this kit, and I find just because you're not always a fan of something, if you just use it, then you might learn to love it maybe a little bit more, or like it at least. And so I decided to bring, because I really love those puffy stickers, really love them, from Ellie's Studio, and I barely used any of them. So you're going to see a few gold layouts from me so that I can start using them. So like I said, I pulled in a few die cuts from the Maggie Holmes. There was that, and where they were yellow, they kind of goldish. And then there was a few, it just said photo and insta film. I did take out a template from my stash, and it looked like they were round, like almost like little pie charts. So I just used them because they reminded me of the cookies. Now I took the alpha that came in the kit, and I just wrote out shortbread cookies, and these are my favorite cookies. Like I could eat the whole thing by myself, and they're they're really fattening. So I don't, but I could. I totally could. I just absolutely love them. And then I took some of those little arrows and just kind of pointed towards the title. I added some of that glitter tape. I thought maybe I could use that love sticker from last month's kit, but it was just it didn't fit right, so I'm not going to be able to use it on this layout. I just couldn't get it to work. Maybe if I would have cut it apart, I could have got it to work. I just thought of that right now, but I couldn't get it to work. So I'm going to use that snowflake wood veneer that came in the kit, and then I'm going to use a few of those puffy stickers. I added 3 of the hearts, and then on that wood veneer I'm going to add one of the little dots, and then I'm going to add some gold stars, the rub-on stars, and those also came from my kit. But I mean, this is layout number 7, so I find the more that you get into the kit, it's okay to bring in a little bit from your stash. One, it gets you to use them. Now there was some silver rub-ons, and that's what made me think of those that came in the kit, but I wanted to keep it all gold, so I went and got my gold ones, and I'm going to add those. There was a little tag too that I just added there, and I'm just going to put a little bit of journaling and on that tag, and like I said, I'm going to add the recipe to the back of the layout. So before this video ends, again, I just want to thank everyone for all the support that you've given me this year. Like, we're wrapping up 2014. I can't believe it. This is, I think, going to be layout 202, maybe, out of 240. It sounds like I'm quite far from my goal, but as I add pictures into my 31 days of December daily, that's going to bring me up to almost being done, right? Because then I'll be up to 333 or 34. Plus I have a few layouts done that I still need to post. So my goal will be met this year. Now I'm thinking of what my goals are going to be for next year. I'm going to be writing them down. And so again, I just want to thank you all for your support this year. My YouTube group has grown by leaps and bounds. My Facebook group has grown by leaps and bounds. And I just want to thank everyone for being, so active on the Facebook group and active on the YouTube channel. It's been so much fun, and I have quite a few ideas brewing up in my noggin for the new year. And I'll be doing a video to kind of share my goals for 2015. And I'm going to do it in a form of video, of course. And I mean a page, a scrapbook layout. And so I'll be putting my goals on a layout so that I can go back and refer to them all year. Basically talked about the whole layout and everything. So I thought I would share a funny story. Okay, so if any of you have seen my setup, you have like my desk, and then it's a desk that my husband and I built, and it's using the cubes from Michael's, but then we added sort of an extension to the bottom, so it's because I stand scrapbooking. So of course it has a hole in the middle. So I've kind of, used every square inch of my scrap room, and I've bought the silhouette, and sadly it's still in the box and it's sitting there. Anyway, one day I was scrapping, and a washi tape roll fell off my desk, hit me, and then fell in behind the box. So it was way at the back. So I thought, if I don't go pick that up right away, I'm going to forget that it's there. And then I'll only find it when we move. So I lean, of course it's a small hole, so I lean and I go to get this washi tape. Well, I kind of lose my footing. So all of a sudden I got, one leg up in the air, barely holding on with the other. And I have not such a great back, so I am stuck. Okay, I'm stuck back there and I can't get out, and I'm in the desk, like I'm totally in. My head is up against the wall, and I thought, I can't get out of here, like I'm stuck. And my son is in his room, and of course, being a teenager, he's got music on and playing video games, and I thought, I don't know if he's going to hear me. So I start yelling, help. So all of a sudden, finally, I hear the door open, and then I hear my son coming, and then I hear him. He loses it. Of course, he's got to laugh at me before he helps me, and he goes, seriously, Mom? And he pulls me out and, made fun of me, of course. And so I was laughing so hard, I couldn't even get myself out. I was stuck there. So I don't know what I would have done if I would have been alone. So the moral of the story is, if you're alone, don't go digging for stuff. Wait for someone to get home, because I probably would have been, I don't know what I would have done if he wouldn't have been here. I probably would have, I don't know. I couldn't even drop to my knees because that was stacked up so high that I was kind of propped up. But anyway, it was just, I was crying. I was laughing so hard because I knew my son was thinking, like, really, Mom? I can't believe you just did that. But anyway, I just thought I'd finish with a little funny story. And that's it. That's layout number 7 done with the November hip kit. So if you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up. And thanks for watching. Bye.